Hi, my name is Thomas Gibbs with US Franchise Visa, and in this video, we'll discuss the franchise opportunity Handyman connection with Tara Merchant, Franchise Development Director. Tara, how are you doing today?
Hi guys, I'm doing good, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Great. Well, thanks for being on the call. Give us the high-level overview of the opportunity.
Yeah, we are a huge commodity to communities. So we go into communities, primarily residential, and we are going to do everything from changing a light bulb for an elderly customer all the way up to a full kitchen, bathroom, deck, paint, fence, floor remodel. So you name it, we're pretty much going to do it. So we're all about multi-revenue streams, multi-services, and really healthy margins. So very high demand and market share for our industry and sector right now, due to the fact that most millennials, dual income families, working adults are all outsourcing the work. So finding customers in our industry is never going to be your challenge. So the core competency is to specialize in the small to medium home repair and remodel on the local level, because that's where your best margins are in the industry. And essentially, we're a big relationship business. We're very community oriented, right? We're all about helping the customers with being more professional, being more reliable, being efficient, and taking care of the customer experience. So there's a lack of that in the industry. So even though the demand has gone up exponentially, the professionalism and efficiency and reliability has not really caught up with that demand, and there's reasons for that. So we're all about the customer experience. We definitely leverage a ton of technology. I would say that we're the leading brand in the industry right now with technology, because that really helps us leverage efficiency and customer experience. So it's about taking care of that customer 4 to 6 times per year for all their home improvement needs. We also do a little bit of light commercial, but not typically towards the end of not till towards the end of the first year for a cash flow perspective. And so we're, again, usually about 43 to 45% of my owner's customer base, their second year is repeat and referral. So we're all about taking care of communities.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense that that repeat business would really build up, and that probably allows us to get more into the commercial side of things later down the road.
That's
For
correct.
those
That's
of us
the
watching,
ramp up as well.
okay, yeah. So from a bigger picture perspective, like a mission and vision, what are we looking to accomplish overall?
Well, I would say that's a very good question, and I like that you're keeping me on my toes. I would say a 1 to 3% market share penetration of, because we're all about market penetration, of a household territory count of a minimum of 100,000 households. You're looking at a very nice, successful, healthy business. So you typically, what I tell my candidates is approximately, now very approximately here, usually a good benchmark is around a 1% market share of 100,000 homes is approximately around $1 million top line gross sale business. So in those projections, you're looking at probably towards the end of your second year typically. But again, lots and lots of business out there. So again, finding customers is never the challenge.
How do you guys find your customers? What are the core ways?
Great question. So we have a complete marketing ecosystem with the brand. So obviously, Tom, as you know, and I'm sure you educate your candidates, is that the benefit of franchising is that we have a ton of infrastructure. We have an economy of scale with all the vendors that we utilize, because we utilize them on a national level. So we have a complete marketing ecosystem, a complete marketing team that is designed to keep the brand extremely competitive on the web, and for the progressive digital marketing. That's because essentially that's how you're attaining most of your customers and client base. And what's really nice is that we know how to be competitive in our space, because it's essential to be on multiple directories on the web and really know how to position yourself for the marketplace. So that's pretty exciting, actually, to see the ecosystem of what we do and to really understand how we really create that brand awareness.
Okay, so we've got a good digital plan. How much of the business should be referral in, say, year 3, 5, 7?
Like I said, the second year is 43 to 45% of my owner's customer base is repeat and referral. They also are, the owner, it's really important for the owners to get out into the community as well and develop what we call strategic partnerships. that is going to really help with a lot of free referral and marketing that's going to come your way. Like, for example, we don't do roofing, we don't do HVAC or landscaping for very essential reasons. And so it is important for our owners to get out there and to really meet those other businesses. And because what ends up happening is it becomes a really, really great referral partner. So that's essential for our owners to do. They're not really going out in the community to look for customers. They're going out into the community to build essential referral relationships. So it's hard to really tell you a percentage, because the percentage of the repeat business the second year is that's definitely very firm, but it's hard to give you a percentage of the free referral partners, because there's just a lot of them. So that's obtained during validation from our candidates. They can get a really good sense of that.
Okay, so it's probably pretty fair to say then that we should be comfortable networking with these kinds of professionals to really consider Handyman
Yes.
Connection.
Yeah, but I don't really think of my owners as a strong salesperson. They are relationship people, right? They understand how to connect and to really kind of build rapport and help with the brand awareness, so that they are obtaining that, they understand how to create the resource for the community for those referrals to come in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So are we having a salesperson join us day one, or
No.
are we having a team in place?
No, my owners practice doing the estimates for the larger jobs, usually north of around $1,000, and it's a really happy need, Tom. You know, they're going into homes, they're taking a really slick and sophisticated estimating software system with them. And look, the fact that you showed up and you had a nice Handyman connection shirt on, and the fact that you are on time is really 50% getting you the job right there. We have a pretty high acquisition rate, around 75% of our jobs. So they're not really salespeople, they're relationship people. You're coming into somebody's home and you're giving them a nice estimate for something they're pretty excited about getting done. And then yes, they can hire a service advisor to take over that role inevitably. Usually that's towards the end of the first year. Again, cash flow and overhead perspective. You know, you got to be able to be ready for that. But a lot of my owners really, really enjoy that element. And it's important for them to practice that at the beginning so they understand their gross profit margins on a job. They understand their pricing in the field. That's important.
Okay, and then how does the work actually get done? Are these employees? Are they
They
subcontractors?
are, that's a great question, Tom. Sorry to interrupt you. They are both. They are subcontractors and W-2 model. We actually operate on both business models, and we allow the franchisee to make that determination based on best practices that we coach and mentor them on. So we feel a more flexible, lower overhead model results in a faster ramp up in owner benefit.
Okay, so how do we control the quality when dealing with subcontractors? That's always a challenge, right?
Very good question. Well, let me tell you one of the biggest things that retains the craftsman. Craftsmen really like stability. They lack any infrastructure out on their own, and they do not like marketing, sales, or any paperwork related activities. They like to work with their hands, with their tools, and that's what they like to do. So by coming to work for us, via subcontractor or even employee, they get stability, right? They have stability and they have regular income, and so that is something that they really appreciate. And we feed them all of their jobs, and we have the systems in place. All they got to do is open up their smartphone, and they know exactly what they're going to do for the day. So that is a really essential part of how you retain your craftsmen. And the craftsmen are the ones that are doing the work. And I know you asked me about quality of work. So we have quality control aspects in place, such as something called NPS, which is a Net Promoter Score system. It's used by a lot of Fortune 500 companies, and it measures the customer experience from between them and the craftsman and the actual company themselves. So we have about a 25% return on those surveys right now per customer. So we are able to understand from our customers' perspective the quality of work. The craftsman doesn't want to bite the hand that feeds them because of the stability that I just described to you. So it essentially works hand in hand. And we also because of the technology, we're in touch with the customer 4 to 6 times throughout the whole job. So customers are going to tell you if they're not happy. It's a service industry, so customers will tell you if they're not happy.
Okay. What is a typical ticket price? I don't know if you'd be comfortable.
Average job size, Tom, is between $750 and $850, maybe close to 1,000 in the beginning. And then what happens, Tom, is that you're earning the credibility to get the larger jobs. So customers want to see that you're on time, you're reliable, and then that's when you start to get those estimates for the larger jobs.
Okay, perfect. And you said we don't do things like roof or landscaping. What would be an example of like a larger job?
Okay, so the reason we don't do roofs is because insurance premiums would be really, really high for the owners, okay? And the margins in HVAC, which is air conditioning and ventilation, and landscaping, is not really, the margins in it aren't really worth it for us, okay? But you, again, will develop those strategic partnerships in regards to be able to get those get that referral business. But you asked me in terms of, tell me the question again, Tom, in regards to why we don't do those things.
Like what would be an example of like a larger ticket?
Oh, a larger job. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So essentially an example is we're not going to do a $70,000, kitchen demolition. That's not our core competency. Your best margins are not within those jobs. You typically have a delay in payment. You have, more team has to be on a job like that for a longer period. You're still, more money, time, labor, materials, which can often tighten up your margin. So the example of a job is usually we kind of fall right in the $6 to $10 to $15,000 job mark, maybe 5 to 7, redos, refreshers, right, upgrades, even in new construction. They pick out their remnants, the house gets built, something isn't right, now we need painting done, something we don't like that tile, we're transferring that out. So plethora of services that can be done within that particular price point.
Okay, okay. So let's say we go from the very beginning of becoming a franchisee, and then we maybe go through a couple of years. Take me through a day in the life of a franchisee, say in week 1, month 1, and then what would a day look like for a franchisee in say year 3 when we're, mature?
Okay, about 40 plus hours. Okay, year 1, year 2, and then you start maybe year 1.5, 40 plus hours. We're not an emergency based business, so we're predominantly Monday through Friday. Maybe you put in some Saturdays the first year or so to help build the business and generate that growth and foundation. Year 3, I have a lot of franchisees in their year 3. The whole idea and vision is to work on the business for the owner, not in. So I would say by year 3, the owner should be decreasing their hours. Everything should be running pretty fine-tuned, and there should be some really good growth and high top line sales numbers going on, so that the owner can decrease the hours. My owners all have a life. They take vacations. I have a rookie of the year in North Carolina that takes long weekends with his wife every now and again. He's only just starting his 2nd year, and he's actually basically broke our initial launch sales records. So my franchisees have a life, but it is because it's an executive owner operator model. They can't just disappear. I always tease them, you can't disappear to Tahiti for eight months. You got to keep an eye on the business, but the whole idea is for them to decrease the hours and have quality of life and work on the business, not in.
Okay, great. So it sounds like we can go from doing a lot of the estimating and the work initially to eventually becoming more like a manager and overseeing the operation, marketing, accounting, things like that. Okay. So what if we're just not handy? Like, we can't change our own light bulb. I mean, how can we get into this business?
Actually, I don't think my owner can change his light bulb. I'm teasing, but none of us on the home office team have really any skill sets in that area, nor do we actually want our owners to we don't demand or require any direct experience in the industry. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, we actually lean towards preferring they don't, because we'd like to teach them our methodology, but we are coveting business acumen. So most of my franchisees come from very professional backgrounds. I have mid to upper level executives. I have all professionals coming from all different industries, all different ages. but there is a consistency in the fact that they come from an experience where they have levels of business acumen, leadership, management, sales, operations, stuff like that.
Okay, so with that kind of
So there's a
business acumen
misconception.
background.
Sorry, Tom, I didn't mean to. There's a little bit of misconception sometimes that you need to be a handy person to be of this business. That's actually not the case.
Okay, so I can't change a light bulb, but I'm really good at marketing. So that's the kind of person that we're looking for.
Or I'm really
Um,
good like with logistics, and I'm really good at being able to make a top level executive decision. I'm really good at understanding my numbers. I really make good decisions on hiring. I know how to retain my people. I watch my KPIs. I know what it takes to scale a business. I'm focused, I'm driven, and I'm ambitious. That's our owner.
okay, that makes a lot of sense. I think it's pretty clear who we're looking for there. Then,
Mhm.
what kind of training, as we wrap up here, what kind of training are we going to get in like what categories
Yes,
of
Tom,
training?
thank you for that.
And then about how long is the initial training?
Okay, absolutely. So training it with us, you may chuckle at this a little bit, but we call it boot camp. It is a no joke 6 weeks of full-time training. As a matter of fact, training is going to feel more intense than the first 3 months of running your business, and that's designed that way. We want you generating revenue as quickly as possible. 5 weeks of it is virtual, and you have 1 week of classroom training where our home offices are in Cincinnati. So it's not just virtual like reading online, and it's really, you are in virtual live classroom settings similar to this, to you and I talking right now. So it's very in-depth. Very critical element to this, Tom, is that they have to dive in full time. I've had plenty of candidates and franchisees quit their careers to dive into this. It's not conducive to have anything else going on when you start training. It is very, very full time. So it's it's not a semi-passive model under any circumstances.
Okay, so in the case that we're coming here on a visa, we could be, say, in the United Kingdom or Australia, start training, and then come into the country.
No, that's a little bit, that would be a little bit difficult because um, first of all, they need to come to my discovery day to determine mutual fit. That's important to us. We award franchises, we don't sell them. Now, we look at every unique circumstance individually. So let's say that they were in the States when they went through all their due diligence, and they came to our discovery day, and mutual fit was established, but they needed to be out of the country for a few weeks. We could probably work that out, but it would be on a case by case basis.
Okay, fair enough. Well, Tara, we really appreciate your time telling us about the opportunity. If we wanted to learn more about Handyman Connection, what would be the best way to get some additional information?
You call me anytime, and I really, really appreciate this time. And I'm happy to do this again anytime you need it. And I really am honored to have you take the time to learn about us. And anytime anybody has questions, I'm pretty accessible. So thank you.
Great. What about maybe like a email or phone or website link? Would there be
Anything
something
you want to
specific?
do, email me, text me, call me, and go on the web. The website's fine, but I rather, people kind of go through you and reach out to me directly. It's much faster that way.
Okay,
All
great. Well,
right.
we've got the link down below in the description. Feel free to click on usfranchisevisa.com. We can discuss Handyman Connection or your situation in general in trying to come to America and learn about franchising. Tara, thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best. Talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.